G'day and welcome to Chase the Weekend. Thanks for joining us. This is episode number 6 of my camper build update. If it's your first time, basically we're just doing update videos of what I've been doing and building this camper. I'm not doing a whole building like DIY video because it just takes way too long. So without further ado, let's see where we're up to. Alright, well we might start at the back here. It's starting to look a little bit different from the last video. I've done a fair bit of work in the last 2 weeks. A lot of early mornings and a few late nights, not too many though. So I've got a fair bit done, as you can see. So we've sheeted the back. I've put in my frame, which I'll explain how I did that. And we've sheeted the back. And I've also sheeted the roof and we've put all the edge trim around. So a lot of work, a lot of time going into that, but it's coming up pretty good. Alright, so in the last video you could see that I hadn't put any surround there, and I was talking about building a frame. So I built a timber frame out of pine stud like this, just 70 by 35. I mentioned in there that I wanted something sturdy to seal the door against. Obviously you want it to swing and needs gas struts and things like that, so you need a solid base. So this is the frame that I've put in there. You can see that there, and then once that was installed I went and painted it. But basically I had my frame. I then attached a bit of this T-section to the frame like that. So I screwed it from the inside and sealed all that, and then from the outside, try not to drop this. From the outside, then I put my sheet on. So that's the outside sheet. And then I put my edge trim over that. And then I went ahead and filled that with silicone all the way around, or urethane. Went around and filled all that with urethane, and that created a nice seal all the way around that door opening. And then you can see I've installed that rubber seal all the way around there, and that's how that looks from the back. I don't know if you can see. You can see where I've screwed that all the way around there. So fingers crossed we won't have any water leaking. So one of the other things that I was pretty keen on doing when I had the idea to do this was for these seams here, well, seam this corner, to be in one piece. So like that. I was trying to avoid putting a trim along there. It's just another thing to have to try and seal, and I think it looks nice if it's folded like that, one piece. So this panel board that I've been using is sign board. It's basically aluminium on either side with plastic in the middle. It's quite sturdy. It's 3mm thick. You can get it in different thicknesses, but that's how thick it is. So basically all I needed to do was V-groove. Hopefully you can see that little V-groove there. So you just use your router with a V groove, cut that groove. Took a little bit of practice trying to get the line straight, clamping down something to run the router along to get it right and getting it in the exact spot. You have to be very mindful of when you turn a corner, you have to add the thickness of the material, obviously, because you're going to be extending the outside dimension is longer than the inside, so you have to think a bit when you're doing that. So once you've got that V groove in there, you can quite easily bend that. If you've done it to the right depth, it does take a little bit of practice. If you go to not deep enough, it will tear, like some of that started to tear there, but if you get it right, that you'll get a nice neat bend on that. I don't know if you can see that. Nice neat bend there. So coming around the front now, you can see I've got the whole, this is one piece all the way from the bottom, from all the way from down there, up, bends here, bends there, and all the way to the back. I got that out in one piece. So had a couple of practice goes on some scraps, just getting the measurements from this point down to here exact, so that it bent in the exact spot. So I had a few practice goes and got that right on some sample bits. But as you can see, nice straight line. I took a few goes getting the router depth to the right spot so that it wouldn't crease or split, and then we were able to bend that and get that in one piece all the way along there. It actually worked out really well. I was able to use, this was an old sign off my business. This piece was quite big, it was a massive big sign, so I pulled the stickers off. It's a little bit scratched if you look closely. There's a few marks where the stickers were, there was some damage under the sticker, but I'm not too worried, it's on the roof. So yeah, it was big enough to do the whole thing, so I was pretty stoked about that. So we recycled and used a little bit of second-hand goods, which is always good. So up on the roof here, this was where my you saw that cable was coming up through the roof. So I've used a junction box, that's just an electrical junction box, and I've run that cable up through, heaps of sealant under there, screwed that down, I've filled the holes and done a big bead around there. So this is, at the moment, this is the only hole I've got in my roof. So I'm pretty confident I've sealed that well, so I shouldn't have any water issues coming from the roof. So the other thing I've done is I've installed these little porch lights, or awning lights. They're just touch button. I didn't want to have to run extra wiring down through the walls to have switches and stuff inside, so I bought these ones with a touch button, so they're white light and orange for bugs. So you'll probably notice I've got some wires hanging down here. These are going to go up into the tailgate. I've got to build the tailgate yet, and that'll be for a little light on the tailgate, just so I've got a light outside. So I have finished, I say finished, but is it ever finished? The kitchen area. So I was sort of semi-finished before, so I've got my little drawers. That's a little cutlery drawer. I'm in two minds whether that's going to be any good or not, but if I had my time over, I probably wouldn't do little drawers. That one, you need somewhere to put your playing cards usually, so that's that. My little cupboard, there's my plates and they fit in there, so I can put some cups and things, see how that goes. I also found this little spice rack, so I've put that up there. I'm going to have to come up with some idea to keep these from falling out and moving around during travel, maybe a bit of foam in the back or something, who knows. I've also installed my sink, so I got a black one because that was sort of my theme, the timber and black. So that's a tempered glass lid. It's just a cheapie off eBay, little sink. I'm in two minds as to whether this black sink was a good idea or whether it's going to be like washing your dishes in your non-stick rice cooker. No knives and forks in there, metal ones anyway. We'll see how we go. So I've also fitted a ring because there was no way to open this, so I've flush mounted that. It's about as good as cabinetry work as I can do. So that lifts up, and then down in here I have carpeted the boot. So I've put some carpet in there, and then I've got all my plumbing and wiring over there. There's a little pump there. I've still got to tidy up some hoses and cables and stuff and seal all the floor where all the pipes come out, but that is all sort of fitted in there. I've got a little light up here which is not wired up yet, but there's a light there, so I'll be able to switch that on and see what's going on in there. I've installed, put that down. So I've installed a light under here, run all the wiring down in there. There's a light up there, so this will have a fair bit of light in there. But it's pretty well, the kitchen is pretty well done. Just a little bit of tidying up and finishing off to do, and a bit of cleaning and stuff, and I think it's pretty good. So probably one of the worst jobs that I found on this thing so far is running all the I've used urethane instead of silicone because I think that should last longer, and I find silicone tends to hold dust. Fingers crossed that this doesn't, but running around all this and sealing all the panels and the edge trim together. I'll tell you what, cabinetry and silicone is definitely not my strong point at all. I think if you're travelling down the highway in an opposite direction at 110 k's an hour, you're going to say that is a good job. But if you're walking through the campsite and you see it and you have children, you'll probably cover their eyes because it's not flash. But hey, it's done. I'm hoping that it's sealed. I've sort of gone everywhere I can, and hopefully I've filled in every gap. So it was a horrible job. So what's left to go? I've got probably only halfway, to be honest. It's all the finer bits now. I'm just waiting for my doors to turn up. I'm hoping next week they should be here so I can fit them and seal them. I bought some guards. So I've got some guards. They were quite cheap. So I've got to mount them, and I'm probably going to make some sort of a step here that's mounted to the chassis with that, and then you can bolt a gas bottle or something there, and maybe some brush bars here. I'm not sure yet. Time will tell, and we'll see how we go. Obviously you can see there's a platform at the front here, and you're wondering what that is for. Maybe that is going to be a fridge box. So I'm going to have a fridge slide out one side, and on the other side will be a small cabinet area for the battery and the solar charger, and where all the wiring and fuses and everything like that is. I'm also going to mount the spare tyre is going to sit there and mount onto the front of that. It's currently under there, but I need a little bit more weight up the front on the drawbar, just because of the kitchen sort of hangs out over the back, and there's a fair bit of weight back there. So I've got a fair bit to go this week. Guards, front box, we're going to build and fit the tailgate, and then I'll have to build some sort of rack up here just to mount the solar panel and the awning and the toilet shower tent on there. Well, there you go. That is where I'm up to. It's been a big couple of weeks, and it's starting to look pretty good, I think. There's plenty of things I'd probably do differently if I did it again, but I'm happy with what I've come up with. So yeah, thanks for watching. We do appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up if you liked it, and do subscribe if you haven't, and leave us a comment if you've got any questions. We'll try and get back to you as quick as we can, but that's it for this episode. I've got some more work to do, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.